Today, you'll meet 20 people with unusual lives. In this segment, we'll show you why these individuals chose lifestyles that might seem absurd to the general public, but for them, it's the best way to express their true selves. Let's watch it. It's fascinating. Boomer. While his real name is Gary Matthews, this man reinvented himself as Boomer, a dog trapped in a human's body. With a collar around his neck and a diet consisting of dog food, he dives into a world that many would consider strange and even repulsive. But for him, it's pure happiness. His obsession with canine life began in childhood when he collected photos of dogs and devoured movies and TV shows starring puppies. This deep connection with the dog world led him to adopt behaviors that blur the lines between the two species. Nowadays, Boomer not only wears a costume made of newspaper, but he also goes for walks in Pittsburgh, barking at cars and digging holes in his backyard. His enthusiasm is contagious, especially at local festivals, where children are fascinated to see a man dressed as a dog. Through his unique way of being, Boomer defies social norms and celebrates his own authenticity, reminding us that true happiness lies in being true to oneself, no matter what others think. Catherine and Gabriella. In a world where family relationships often follow traditional molds, the mother-daughter duo of Catherine Galasso Vigorito, 56, and her daughter Gabriella, 23, share a bond that defies convention. Despite a 33-year age gap, Catherine and Gabriella are two intertwined souls who seem to merge into one being. In fact, some people even think they are twins. This is because they dress alike every day, a trend they've followed since Gabriella was young, when her mother sought ways to bond with her through clothing. What seemed like a simple decision became the foundation of their relationship, where they do everything together and even share the same clothing size, which makes picking outfits easier. Day after day, Gabriella, now a prominent figure in the world of cosmetics and fashion, chooses their outfits and makes sure her mother looks just as fabulous. Both women express a love for pink, bright colors, and everything that shines. They also took their unconventional relationship a step further by diving into the world of beauty pageants, aiming to succeed as a mother-daughter team. Gabriella is pursuing her first title as Miss Connecticut USA, a dream her mother achieved back in 1988. However, their relationship hasn't been free of criticism, especially when Gabriella admitted that she never goes out alone and feels like a mini-me of her mother, mainly because they always wear the same clothes, do their makeup similarly, and even apply the same beauty treatments to each other. Another notable criticism is that Catherine has two other daughters who feel isolated due to the close bond she shares with her eldest daughter. Nevertheless, none of them plans to change their lifestyle, as they remain focused on winning beauty contests and enhancing the striking resemblance between them. Kevin Baugh. Since its founding in 1997, Kevin has held his peculiar leadership role as President of the Republic of Molossia, a micronation covering just 2.5 hectares in Dayton, Nevada. Kevin's personal residence serves not only as his home, but also as the presidential palace, where he enacts laws and governs over a population of 30 people and 4 dogs. However, the real shocker is that Molossia is not limited to its small territory in the desert. Kevin proudly declares that his micronation possesses territories scattered throughout the universe, from the Protectorate of New Antrim in Pennsylvania, the Desert Province in California, the depths of Neptune at the bottom of the Pacific Ocean, and even claims a piece of 127,000 square kilometers on the planet Venus. To keep its economy running, the population uses a currency called Valora, printed on poker chips whose value is based on the price of cookie dough. But perhaps one of the most intriguing aspects of the Republic of Molossia is its international relations. The micronation is at war with East Germany, a dispute dating back to Kevin's time in the U.S. Army. During his service, the constant border drills with the European country caused him sleep deprivation, so he made it his life's mission to defeat East Germany, despite the fact that the nation ceased to exist over 30 years ago. Samantha Hess. In 2017, this woman made a decision that would change her life and many others. Realizing how debilitating the lack of human contact was in her own life, she founded Cuddle Up to Me, a professional hugging business with the purpose of offering the comforting power of physical touch to those feeling lonely. Thanks to her business vision, she allows anyone, regardless of their circumstances, to feel accompanied and loved through a simple hug. The idea came after she saw a video of a man offering free hugs to strangers on the street. That moment left a deep impression on her, and she admitted that she would have even been willing to pay for a hug that made her feel loved. What started as a small business quickly turned into an overnight phenomenon. To this day, she has provided thousands of hugs to those in need and reached an audience of 47 million people through over 300 interviews. She even organized the first hug convention, where she trained the first generation of professional huggers, and firmly believes that a simple gesture like a hug can have a profound and healing impact on people with depression and other emotional issues. Danielle, since you were a child, your parents always told you never to put strange substances in your mouth or nose. Well, Danielle, a 33-year-old woman didn't pay attention to that warning. She has a surprising obsession. She regularly inhales VapoRub, a menthol and eucalyptus-based ointment used to relieve nasal congestion. Her unusual practice has reached surprising levels as her daily ritual starts with the use of inhalers, patches, candles, and VapoRub ointment. What really stands out, however, is her strange habit of eating the gel directly from the container or adding it to her morning tea. Danielle says her obsession began 20 years ago when a severe cold led her to use VapoRub on her chest to ease her symptoms. What seemed like a common practice soon turned into a mania as the menthol scent captivated her and she started ingesting it. In fact, she admits that nowadays, she can't go more than 30 minutes without tasting the product. For Danielle, the most pleasurable part is the refreshing and burning sensation as the VapoRub melts in her throat, a feeling she describes as a pleasure that stays with her all day. She also enjoys the burn it causes when she applies it to her eyelids and even calls it an irresistible habit that she can't skip in her daily routine. Michel Lotito. Since he was 9 years old, this Frenchman developed an incredible ability, eating anything that is impossible for the rest of us to digest. Whether it was glass, metal, or any other unusual object that would be lethal to anyone else, Michel was a devourer who found strange satisfaction in consuming these materials. Doctors who studied his case discovered that he had a thicker than normal stomach and intestinal lining, allowing him to eat anything placed in front of him. Over his life, he devoured 18 bicycles, a 500-meter steel chain, 7 televisions, 15 shopping carts, a computer, a coffin, a pair of skis, and 6 chandeliers, solidifying his legendary status in the world of unusual people. But the challenge that took his career to unimaginable heights came in 1978, when he decided to eat a Cessna 150 airplane. Over the next 2 years, he dismantled the aircraft piece by piece, and by 1980, he completed his epic feat by swallowing the final piece. It's uncertain if his death in 2006 at 55 was caused by his unusual habit, but it is certain that he cemented his name in history when the Guinness Book of Records gave him a special recognition for the world's strangest diet. Mehran Karimi Nasseri. The story you're about to hear sounds like it came out of a Hollywood movie, but it's 100% real, and it happened just a few years ago. In 1981, this Iranian man, also known as Sir Alfred Mehran, arrived in Belgium where he applied for refugee status, claiming he had been persecuted for opposing the regime in his home country. From 1981 to 1988, he traveled freely between France and England until the day he decided to head to Scotland in search of his supposed biological mother, a Scottish nurse with whom his father had an affair. Apparently, his documents were stolen, and he couldn't board his flight, leaving him trapped in a legal limbo. This led him to live at Paris's Charles de Gaulle Airport for almost 2 decades. From August 26, 1988 to July 2006, Mehran became quite the character known to travelers. During this time, he made his home in Terminal 1 and survived thanks to the generosity of passengers and airport staff while he struggled to resolve his legal situation with the help of a French lawyer. His life, which also inspired films and novels, skyrocketed to strange global fame when his story partly served as the basis for the movie The Terminal starring Tom Hanks. In 2006, an illness forced him to be transferred to a Red Cross hospital, and for a few years, he lived in a homeless shelter in Paris before deciding to return to the airport, where he passed away on November 12, 2022, at the age of 77. Lady Beard. Richard Magaray, an Australian living in Japan, became one of the country's most unique and beloved celebrities thanks to his eccentric alter ego, Ladybeard. Standing at an impressive 6 feet, 1.83 meters, tall with a full beard, this charismatic character dresses as a schoolgirl and performs Japanese pop songs with his band, Lady Baby, which includes 2 Japanese girls. Ladybeard's career isn't limited to music. He also ventured into professional wrestling with a style that mixes toughness with the kawaii fashion trend. Additionally, he formed 2 other musical bands, Deadlift Lolita and Baby Beard, where he blends pop melodies with heavy metal influences, creating a unique sound he calls kawaii core. This new trend, combining the sweetness of kawaii fashion with the energy of hardcore metal, quickly propelled him to fame and gained him a passionate following. With concerts in Japan and China, along with regular appearances on Japanese TV shows, Ladybeard became a cultural icon who defies norms and celebrates being different with each of his performances in front of thousands of fans. Chuck McCarthy. If you find yourself overwhelmed by the endless attractions in the vast city of Los Angeles, then here's the perfect solution, albeit an unconventional one. Just call Chuck, a professional walker who doesn't walk dogs, but people. For $7 per mile, he offers more than just exercise. He provides company and conversation as you enjoy your stroll through the city. As you walk together through the California streets, he assures you won't need a leash like a dog, but you will have someone willing to listen to your stories and anecdotes, making each walk a close and almost therapeutic experience. Chuck explains that what started as an idea that seemed like a joke has turned into a successful business. In fact, he admits he never expected his job to become so popular, but the need for human connection is so strong that he had to hire more walkers to meet the growing demand. For many of his clients, these walks are more than just a way to exercise. They're moments to vent and enjoy genuine companionship amidst the hustle and bustle of Los Angeles. Robert Samuel. When Apple released the iPhone 5S in 2013, this New Yorker with a sharp business instinct saw an opportunity that many overlooked. He knew that thousands of people would be willing to pay to skip the long lines that formed outside Apple stores, so, taking advantage of this demand, he got one of the first spots in line and sold the phone for $350. But he didn't stop there. He repeated the same strategy and made a total of $14,000 in just a few days by waiting in line. What started as a simple ad in online classifieds turned into a business called Same Old Line Dudes, which specializes in hiring people to stand in line on behalf of others, whether it's for concert tickets, sports events, or limited edition products. Regarding his business model, he charges $45 for the first 2 hours of waiting and $10 for each additional hour. Although standing in line for hours might seem tedious, the success of his company showed that patience can be a profitable virtue, turning the monotony of waiting into a lucrative opportunity, freeing his clients from the stress and wasted time of endless lines. Eve and Rain. Pony play is the name of a strange subculture where members transform into horses with the help of costumes and unique roles. For some, like Eve and Rain, just dressing up as horses and receiving care from their trainers is enough. But others take their passion further by competing in events where they replicate the activities of real horses with astonishing accuracy. For this couple, the appeal of pony play lies in its liberating and transformative qualities. Both say that in their everyday lives, they lead normal roles like anyone else, but when they put on their horse costumes, they leave behind any worldly attachments and immerse themselves in a world where they can run freely, gallop, and simply act like horses. Their dedication to this practice led them to become part of Ponies on the Delta, an organization based in Louisiana, which holds 2 annual events where participants can compete, show off their skills, and most importantly, connect with their inner horse. Teresa Widener. For over 2 decades, this woman from Bedford, Virginia, has lived with a peculiar obsession, licking the dirt off the rocks she encounters and then popping them into her mouth to crunch them between her teeth. The reason behind this unusual habit is that she suffers from pica, a disorder that compels people to eat non-edible objects. For Teresa, this obsession became a part of her daily life, and her experience made her an expert at breaking rocks with ease. She also admits that the earthy taste is so irresistible that she prefers to consume the rocks without cleaning them. The larger ones she takes to her kitchen, where she crushes them with a hammer before devouring them, while the smaller ones she keeps in a container in her purse, ready to satisfy any cravings at any time. On a typical day, she consumes almost 1 kilogram, 2.2 pounds, of rocks, a habit that may seem strange but feels completely natural to her. However, Teresa doesn't fully understand why she developed this obsession, and speculates it could be due to a lack of iron in her body. This adds some complexity to her unusual relationship with dirt and rocks, but the harsh reality is that she is putting her life at risk by continuing to consume these elements, which could cause fatal gastrointestinal damage. Scott Wiener, the #1 pizza fan, believes that putting pizza in a box is a terrible idea because the trapped steam changes the texture and flavor of the pizza, ruining the experience that should be preserved right after it comes out of the oven. In any case, that criticism didn't stop him from developing a unique fascination with pizza boxes. In 2013, he became a legend by breaking the Guinness World Record for the largest pizza box collection, accumulating 595 boxes from all over the world. But his passion didn't stop there. Year after year, Scott updated his record until he reached the astounding number of 1,650 boxes in perfect condition. What's most surprising is that none of them have ever been used to transport pizza. As if that wasn't enough, his obsession led him to found Scott's Pizza Tours, a company that offers tourists the chance to discover the best pizzerias in New York. In addition, his love for this Italian delicacy leads him to consume at least 700 slices a year, and he confesses that, for him, pizza is much more than food. It's an art where each box tells a unique story. Jen Glantz. When she was 20, this woman started noticing a pattern in her friends' lives. Everyone was getting married, and she was always playing the role of maid of honor. But behind the smiles and celebrations, she realized something deeper. Weddings, far from being purely joyful moments, were often filled with stress, anxiety, and loneliness for the brides. She also discovered that not all brides had a close circle of friends to rely on for support on such an important day. With this revelation, Jen came up with an audacious idea. She posted ads offering her services as a professional maid of honor, allowing complete strangers to hire her as the emotional and logistical support every bride needs. The success was immediate, as her empathy and dedication made her an integral part of hundreds of weddings, where she helped brides overcome nerves and chaos. What's most surprising about her service is that she creates fake identities and names so that guests never suspect she's a hired maid of honor. Following her unprecedented success, she turned her passion into a full business, offering a team of trained women who fulfill all the wedding day's demands, ensuring each bride feels supported and understood. Helen Mathis. Saving money is something most people do, but for Helen, an esthetician based in Atlanta, it became an extreme art form. Known by her friends and family as one of the most frugal people imaginable, she found creative and surprising ways to cut costs in her beauty salon. The clearest example of this is that, instead of spending money on high-end cosmetics, she gets all her supplies from a local farm. Once, a group of women preparing for a wedding came to her salon for a beauty treatment. Pauline didn't hesitate to use products intended for animals, arguing that they contain the same ingredients as expensive, well-known cosmetics. Among her most shocking tricks is using cat litter as a facial mask, and she even claims it's identical to $200 products. She also applies horse shampoo to her clients' hair and uses cow udder cream as a foot exfoliant and for facials. It's clear that her ability to save money is undeniable, but what's even more surprising is that she has a large client base despite using products never meant for beauty treatments. RC and Sharon Bridges. On their Texas ranch, this couple did what many thought was crazy. They share their home with Wild Thing, a 1-ton buffalo. The story began in 2004 when RC had an accident that left him without one eye and forced him to sell his herd of buffalo. However, they couldn't part with one in particular, whom they named Wild Thing. This enormous bovine, far from just being a relic of their past life, became an essential part of their family. Over time, he went from being a farm animal to a household companion, so it's unusual for anyone visiting their home to see a buffalo entering the living room to receive its food or lying next to the couch like an oversized 1,000-kilogram dog. Wild Thing is so important to them that in 2006, the couple renewed their wedding vows and decided that there could be no better best man for the ceremony than Wild Thing. This giant teddy bear, as they describe him, has defied all perceptions of danger that usually surround buffaloes, as they are known in the wild to be extremely dangerous and responsible for 200 deaths a year, mostly due to their territorial instinct, ability to run at 40 miles per hour, 65 kilometers per hour, and 24-inch, 60-centimeter horns. However, the couple insists that Wild Thing is much more than a buffalo. He's a family member they will love for the rest of their lives. Chance the Dragon. Alex is a former U.S. Marine who, after leaving the military, found a unique way to express himself and escape through his alter ego, Chance the Dragon. This vibrant character, who is part of the furry community, allows him to break free from the stresses and tensions of adult life. Although he knows his former comrades likely wouldn't understand his passion for dressing up as a cartoonish dragon, for him, Chance is more than just a costume. It's a refuge where he can reconnect with his inner child and be authentic. Every time he puts on the suit, he feels a powerful transformation. In those moments, besides becoming Chance, he reveals a more joyful and authentic version of himself than the one he shows in his daily life. For him, and for many in the furry community, these outfits serve an important purpose as symbols of freedom, creativity, and connection with their true selves. Alex believes his alter ego represents the courage to be oneself, regardless of others' opinions. Derek Nance. For over a decade, this 35-year-old man has taken his lifestyle to the extreme with a diet that challenges conventional notions. It all revolves around his exclusively raw meat diet. But what's most bizarre is that he doesn't limit himself to the usual cuts you'd find in the butcher shop. On a typical day, he drinks smoothies that mix sheep stomach, liver, and even raw animal testicles, which Derek claims are an excellent source of protein. Regarding his fascination with this diet, he says it started as a way to reconnect with his more primal roots, and over the years, it has turned into a way of life that he's even imposed on his 4 children, with his wife being the only exception, as she sticks to her vegetarian diet. What's most surprising about his regimen is his inclination for eating rotten meat. After letting it ferment for several days, he enjoys the feast of bacteria, which gives him a strange sense of euphoria when he consumes it. His connection with nature doesn't stop there, as he visits nearby farms to buy live animals and slaughter them himself. For example, an 176-pound sheep is enough to feed his family for a month, and truth be told, there are few parts of the animal he doesn't devour completely. To complete his extravagant diet, he eats live worms, claiming that the enzymes in these insects help him process the large amounts of raw meat he consumes and contribute to keeping him healthy after each feast. Tromper. For over 20 years, this man, who only goes by the name Tromper, has lived with an overwhelming passion for pony play, a type of role play that goes beyond simple fun to become a lifestyle. This world allows him to imitate the behavior of a horse, trot across fields, and experience the freedom of being one with nature. His commitment is so deep that he has gone from buying costumes to creating them himself, making hoods, tails, and gloves that transform him into the equine he's always dreamed of being. As a founding member of the Rocky Mountain Pony Pack, he found a community where he shares his fascination for these animals with other enthusiasts. Working alongside a trainer, he has competed in pony play events where he has showcased his impressive equine skills. The man-horse also explains that while this practice may seem strange and disreputable to others, for him, it's the only thing that gives him life and helps him express his true self, even if it means running through the field on all fours. Jose Armando and Jose Luis Ceballos. The birth of these Ecuadorian conjoined twins was an event that completely changed their parents' lives, as they had no idea that their children would face a series of monumental medical challenges. As soon as they were born, doctors confirmed they were joined by their digestive systems, shared a liver, and each had only one leg, which meant separating them was practically impossible. However, what seemed like an insurmountable challenge to others became a test of strength for them. From a very young age, they showed an incredible ability to adapt. Although at first they had to use a skateboard to get around, this didn't stop them from attending school and fully experiencing childhood. Beyond their physical limitations, Jose Armando and Jose Luis grew up showing a brave and positive attitude toward all the challenges life threw at them. Today, the Ceballos brothers are deeply proud to be the only conjoined twins in Ecuador, and even more so, to represent their country in the world. They also have big goals, like studying systems engineering not only to gain knowledge for a professional career, but also to inspire other kids with special needs and tell them that challenges are meant to be overcome. Now tell me, which of these people do you think might need psychiatric help? Leave your opinion in the comments. Here are two options that you'll surely love.